It was a bit grey and overcast in Parkland country, but still a lovely day. The grass in the pastures was starting to green up, and I found the frogs that I'd come looking for. These are wood frogs, and they're tiny, about the size of my thumbnail. This Parkland area has a lot of wet country. Sloughs and shallow lakes are all over the place, and of course the birds love it. But the real defining characteristic of this land is aspens. Just down the road from here, it's full-on prairie, sagebrush, grassland, cactus. Here, forest. And a lot of wet spots. I got good and soaked photographing these willow catkins. But of course, I loved it. The bees and the little buzzing flies were really enjoying all that pollen. And I was kind of enjoying being wet and muddy. That's why it was no problem to lay right back down in the mud to photograph these floating feathers. Some of the bigger ponds still had ice on them, kind of a surprise. And over the winter, the beavers have made pretty short work of some of the forest. But the wetlands tucked into the low spots in the forest are teeming with life. Love those wood frogs. But I sure wish the light had been better for this cinnamon teal. The morning had been pretty calm, but now wind was starting to come up. In the forest, it wasn't too bad. But out in the open, in the hills west of Louisiana, the wind was screaming along. This countryside here is fascinating. It's called Nob Kettle topography, a landscape formed by melting glaciers 10,000 years ago. I've got to come back on a better day and try photographing it again. It's such an interesting part of our world. Ponds choked with aspens and poplars, some wind-blown, some torn down by beavers. And then, not very far away, Dry Island buffalo jump. This is right on the transition zone where prairie meets parkland. Crocus bloom here now, but cactus won't be far behind. And grasslands and sagebrush mix with aspen forest. Yeah, it's a fascinating part of our world, this place where the prairies meet the parkland. And of course, I'll be back again.